Hey, so I want to take up a bit more on the subject of ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, electric shock treatment. I've put a few videos on this, and I find it really interesting how many of the comments are relating to, oh, well, if you consent, if the patient consents to the ECT, then it's fine. Well, not necessarily, because as I have explained in other videos, there are over 100 ECT clinics in the UK, NHS ECT clinics. ECT is very well alive and kicking, no pun intended on alive, up to 450 volts and hundreds of milliamps for several seconds. It is a barbaric treatment. I consider it a barbaric treatment, not just me, but many people who've experienced it. I've not had ECT. I just fight for those who have had ECT, and I disagree with the treatment of my fellow human beings in this fashion, because psychiatry is the scourge of our current society. It is destroying our children's minds. It has infiltrated every aspect of our society, and now the workforce, with their so-called mental illnesses and so on and so forth. But I digress. What I wanted to tell you about was the fact that ECT in the UK is given to children as young as 11. So an 11 to 18-year-old child does not give his or her consent. It will be the parent or somebody else who will sign the papers. So it's all fine saying consent, but no. And here is printed right out of the Royal College of Psychiatry about children here. You can go online, it's right there. And what does it say? ECT is not used in children under the age of 11. Children between 11 and 18 rarely develop the kind of mental illnesses that respond well to ECT. But for a small number who do, ECT can be helpful. Now, if you use any of the AIs or use Google, you will not find the number of children who are ECT'd in the UK. And this is because you can only obtain that information under a Freedom of Information Act request. Now, personally, about 20 years ago, I used to volunteer for a local charity helping people who had been abused by psychiatry. And at the time, I did a Freedom of Information request at the Countess of Chester Hospital in Chester, the Warrington Trust, and Wythenshawe Hospital, because those three hospitals at the time had an ECT unit. I think they still do. And I asked how many patients per year were being ECT'd. And this is about 20 years ago. I think it was about 2024 or 2025. I did that 2004 and 2005 I did that request, and it was over 1,000 ECT patients, and that's just Cheshire, and that was 20 years ago. The majority of the patients were over 65, so you cannot find that information on ECT, even if you use any of the AIs and ask what is, how many people in the UK are ECT'd every year. You will not get that information. It is only through the Freedom of Information Act request. But I just want you to know that it is given to children as young as 11 in the United Kingdom. And I don't think it's okay. And many, many people do not think it's okay. And that barbaric practice has to stop.